Welcome to Frontline Realty Podcast from Firehouse to Open House. I'm Jared Lee, one of the team leads for Frontline Legacy Group. I have with me one of our other team leads and Agent of the Year last year for Frontline Legacy Group, Tim Wagner. Tim, thank you so much for making time for us in your busy schedule of selling everything in Ohio to finally come on the podcast.
Yeah, it's rough getting here with all the kids. So.
So we were talking a little bit off camera about where we started with this vision to where we are now, and it's been a night and day difference. And you've been side by side with me with this, from day one. So I appreciate everything you've done with the team and for us since we started. But man, what a journey it's been, man.
Yeah, it has been a journey from just you and I to how many ever agents we have at this point are going to test soon.
It's an army.
It is. It's taken off. And obviously through the different brokers we started, basically, so I came on about 2 years ago, roughly. A little less than 2 years, I think, actually.
Yeah, because we were with Epic at that time.
Yeah, so a little less than 2 years ago, Jared and I met at the firehouse. We both worked at a part-time fire department together. I was working multiple jobs, and I saw how successful Jared was with realty, and I love the guy as not just as a coworker, but as a person. He's one of the nicest, greatest guys you'll meet. But he basically said, "Hey, get your realty license and jump on board with me, and get more time at home with the family." Some cases it's true. Yeah. If you're busy, it's not so much, but at least I'm not gone for 24 hours, and I get to come home and see the kids and wife at the end of the night. So. We started just him and I for the most part. Mm-hmm. And now we're at where we're at now, and it's just taken off.
Yeah, we have 7 or 8 active agents right now, but we have over 70 people taking real estate classes right now through the Kaplan program that KW provides for first responders. Yeah. So that's been a huge asset for us for getting people. I mean, that was the whole, I think I've said this several times, but the whole mission of our team was just to get people out of working 2 or 3 different part-time fire jobs, get them time back with their families to where they're not having that mental burnout from going from one department to another, and being able, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that real estate classes, it's a big, to jump into something that you're watching from afar, like, okay, that guy's successful with it, but to make that financial commitment, it's a big risk for a first responder on our salary. So thank you to KW for offering that, because that's been a life-changing opportunity for a lot of first responders, and everybody's been really appreciative of it.
Yeah, it is a big opportunity. A lot of us are paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, so, that's a whole nother episode in itself.
Right, so, right.
McDonald's makes more than us. There's
we go.
Yeah, there's going to be jumping on it.
Most of us do live paycheck to paycheck, so really, being a realtor definitely does offer that supplemental income that you're not going to make working another 2 or 3 part-time fire jobs. It's not going to happen.
Also gives you a mental break from going from one. Because people call us on their worst days, unless, obviously we get the calls where I have the knee pain that's been going on for
4 weeks.
For 4 weeks or 4 years, but right now at 3 a.m, it's the worst it's ever been, or just stuff. So from our mental health, it's nice to where, it's breaking it. Like my last shift, we had 4 calls after midnight, all for stuff that could have been handled during the daytime that actually started in the daytime when I would ask these people, but whatever. And then to try and go from that to another part-time fire job, I would just be drained. So luckily,
exhausted.
Yeah, I came home and just slept, and then got up and started doing my real estate stuff again. And
I think the other thing that this team offers, and you'll notice it even when he introduced himself, is that Jared doesn't take enough credit. So, it's true. You never toot your own horn, but the truth of the matter is that he's the team owner, not a team lead. So, Dane and I are team leaders. Jared is a very unselfish person. So, when you have a leader with Jared's vision, Jared's mentorship and training, and his unselfishness, not just he wants to be successful, and you see him drive for that, but he also wants you to be successful. He's not in this to get rich off of us, which I think all the team members feed into that energy. Like they see that he truly means well, and he sticks to his word. So when he's not killing us in fees and Like he doesn't want us to sell a house so he gets money is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You give most of that to us, and it just really opens the door where we are able to stop working 2 or 3 B jobs and be home more with the kids and the family and do things. So we appreciate you, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit.
Well, I don't think anything's worth doing unless you can take your friends with you. You know, like I said, it's like I want to grow all of us together, and it truly is a team effort because I know there's teams out there where they're like the team owner is a closed book, and team members have no idea what is going on behind the scenes, and unfortunately, like some of those not everybody, but some of them just treat their team members as just paychecks and stuff. It's just, but I mean, like we're all invested in this, and I think that's why we're so successful. Is it's a viral goal of all of us is just to get out of work and bring our friends with us and get everybody out of work in multiple fire jobs, and plus get back to the first responder community. So I'll never tell people I'm a team owner. I just like we're all equals on this. You guys everybody has as much say as the next person in what we do. We vote on everything, and
which is way different.
Yeah, and that's how it works. I don't know why more people don't do it. Like not everybody's gonna like what I think is the right thing, but if like everybody else is saying no, we don't think that'll work. Like maybe I should listen to that because they're seeing a perspective I'm not, and it's just with everybody invested in that. I think that's why like firefighter associations are so successful because that's how we run it all. Like, it's got to be a majority vote, and it's been what has driven us to where we're at now. Because man, think about where we were 2 years ago, or even a year ago before KW. We were just spinning our wheels with stuff and trying to get figured out like what would stick. But now that we have like all the systems and everything in place, it just works. Where I'm not as stressed as how stressed I was before.
Was
my
bad.
God.
Yeah.
I was just like, and you helped me out with that a lot too, just for like the accountability with people and stuff. But we got the right people on our team now. I like having, nothing against people that aren't first responders, but it's a different mindset. I think when we have a team that's 100% first responders, we all are used to that, either whether it be law enforcement or the firehouse, we're used to that kind of structure.
Right.
And it's easy to build a team. Like it's easier from what I've seen to take that mindset and kind of adapt real estate to it than then trying to, follow the other team's real estate model and trying to bring like first responders, like, okay, we have to convert to this. It just doesn't work.
First responders is a team driven mentality. If we don't work together, we fail. And I think the same thing applies to this team, and that's kind of the mindset you've brought, where it is a team effort. This isn't I'm going to call the shots. This is let's get everybody on board because 2 brains are better than 1. And the transparency I think builds trust with people and makes them want to stay and not go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, because you have no like on the outside and stuff like I've seen teams where like they play it so close to chest, and these team members, there's just no trust because, like you said, like they assume the team owner, which they probably are, making a ton of money and stuff, and they're not investing into the team members. And the way I like about our team is it's like, say we're in a fire truck, everybody's interchangeable in a seat assignment.
Right.
That's how it should be. Like we're all trained at the same level. Nobody's keeping secrets. We're all truly out there just to help each other. And it's and I think if more people adapted that model, you catch more flies with honey.
Yeah.
Don't treat people like they're paychecks. Like let them have some ownership too. And that was like why we decided on the team name we did, just so everybody can get behind it. It's kind of like wearing the t-shirt of the fire department, where we really represent our city or our township with pride. Yep. Same thing with the Frontline brand. Right. Because Frontline brand is going to be here hopefully way past when you and I are old. And we already got our kids prepped, and now Dane has one as well on the way to where we'll just have something a legacy to leave behind. And this has been such a unique niche that no one has done yet. So I mean we're starting to see a couple different first responder teams popping up here and there and stuff, and I hope the best for them, because honestly I would love to see it take off more. As long as they follow that same structure that how we've done that's worked. But
I think it's difficult to follow that same structure, though.
It is, because
as a team owner, you have to have a certain mentality. Not everybody has that mentality,
Well, that's what I appreciate everybody's like, when I was like, I don't think this is where we need to be. I think we need to make a switch. And you guys unanimously are like, all right, when are we going? Like nobody ever gave me any pushback on anything. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think this is it and stuff. And everybody's just like, I have 100% trust in you guys, and you guys have the same trust in me. And, I appreciate that because, man, I know we did have some, obviously we've had a couple of people on our team that have kind of just, they've kind of set in their ways and stuff, and that's fine. But, for the most part and everything, they didn't see the team aspect of it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like you gotta, like you want people that are used to working on as a team and working together.
People that work as a team and are also self-motivated, because you're not going to be successful in this career field if you go get your license and you think these listings or clients are just going to fall into your lap. You're wrong. I can speak on that as personal, because my first year I did very well, but it was my personal sphere, like a really close circle of people that my wife had sent to me, or friends, family that I had. Then I kind of hit a stale point. Well, I hadn't worked.
Well, yeah, you had
everything falling.
Yeah, you had
lap, Now I actually have to go out and chase things. But if you're not self-motivated, you're not going to be successful in this field. And I think what most first responders are self-motivated. We get on the scene. We don't have to be told what to do. We already know what to do. Our training's kicked in. And a lot of that has to come down to your officers and your training officers, or wherever you're going with that. But that's what we have in you, where you have a wealth of knowledge you've obtained, and you had to get there the hard way by yourself.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
But you're willing to share that with us.
Trial and error.
Yeah, right.
I was like, don't do the expensive way like I did here. Here's a shortcut.
Well, how about all the rebranding?
Yeah. Oh, that was terrible too.
I'm glad we got a brand now that all of us are very proud of, and it's taken off. I mean, we just sitting here and doing a podcast.
Yeah.
2 years ago, who would have thought this would happen?
Oh yeah. Now like 2 weeks ago, now we're on all the 8 different audio podcast platforms.
Right.
And what are we, number 2 or 3 in Spain? Yeah. We're trying. How that happened? I don't even. But I mean, if there's any Spaniards out there, like, we'll get your license and you can be part of the team. But somehow that happened, and when I got the analytics for that, I'm like, well, I mean, it's working though, and
right.
And I think that's like you just hit the head on the nail, or nail on the head with that statement. With like, we have a brand now that everybody's proud of,
right.
And it's something everybody can relate to, and it's something easy for first responders, whether even veterans. We have a couple of veterans now that are going to be joining the team that everybody can get behind, and it's not. And that was my biggest problem too. I think when I first got licensed, or not when I first got licensed, when I went solo, I would I've got to wear a suit. It just didn't feel me. It didn't feel what I'm used to. And with our brand now, it's pretty relatable, or it is relatable to the fire service. It's like, okay, I wear a hat and a polo, and it's more authentic, I think, rather than trying to fake it to make it.
Right.
So
people appreciate that, being genuine. We're not firefighter, first responders in general are known for having morals, being ethical, and I think that applies to the realty service.
Yeah.
They trust us on their worst days. They trust us in their homes. They call us to come in their home. So who better to call when you need to buy a home?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to treat you the same way we would on a call. So it's worked well for me. I attack the realty service the way I attack first responder.
Remember when I told you I was like, I would shave your mustache when we were the other group.
You did,
and stuff.
And I shaved it off.
And then a week later, I was like, oh, you know what? We're going to switch to a first responder 100% theme. I was like, I guess you could have kept your mustache.
I had to grow it back. Which my wife thinks you had to shave it off because she hates it. But
oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, I grew it back. It's coming back now. So
it looks better than ever.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
But now, like, thinking back from last year to now, we're down in southern Ohio. We're in Columbus now, and we're going to be in Cincinnati here any week.
Right.
So I'm excited for that growth, and just how we've kind of expanded, because it was I mean, the whole thing was just to, like I said, just to get people out of working 2 or 3 different part-time jobs. But our brand is so recognizable with the fire service now that everybody, when they think of real estate, our stuff comes to mind. They're like, oh yeah, are you part of that real estate team? Or, oh yeah, Frontline. I was telling Dane when I was down in Atlanta for the Keller Williams event for the regional conference, it was I had my hat on and stuff, and it was cool to see when I ran into other first responders that were real estate agents in Ohio. They knew who we were.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, we follow your guys' stuff on Instagram or whatnot, and thanks to Dane's help, we're on everything.
Yeah, he's a technical guru.
He is. Like, the podcast is Dane's baby, and it's been probably like one of the best things we've started doing, because I was like, I want to start doing that in 2026. I'm scared to be on camera, but I know we need to do it, and it's just we're pumping like two videos, 2 reels out a day now on our social media channels. Thanks to Dane.
Almost 40,000 views a month right now.
Yeah, that's huge. 40,000 views. And it actually, ironically, one of the clients I just picked up the other day has been watching our stuff on social media stuff. They were looking for a realtor, and then our team kept popping up in the different group pages and stuff, like, oh, you got to work with Frontline. And then they were looking at a listing I have in Chippewa Lake, and she told her husband, like, dude, just call him. And they were watching my social media, my private page, but they were also following our team page and stuff. Yeah. So it broke down that that weird first introduction awkwardness and stuff, because when I went and met him at the house and everything, like, man, you are just like you are on the podcast or on your videos. I was like, oh yeah, dude,
we're pretty authentic.
Yeah, we're pretty real, pretty laid back. So sorry you had a bad experience with the other realtor. I'm not surprised with who the company it was, but it we'll make it better now.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I know I'm excited to see where we are come, the end of the year, especially with how many people we have. I mean, we were looking like, oh man, how are we going to onboard all these people? But I'm like, wait a second, we're at KW. They have a whole onboarding thing. So that's part of that. I don't know if you looked at that dashboard that we built out and stuff and everything, but that's going to be, that's huge for us to be able to track everything for everybody, because we didn't have that before. We were just tracking kind of like end of year stuff. Right. But now, after like a couple weeks of us doing this, probably like a month and a half, we'll be able to figure out how many calls or how many appointments so-and-so has to go on to average, a deal. Yeah. So, and if we see, like, if Dane goes on 6 listed appointments, he's only able to sign 1, we can be like, okay, well, so there's something happening in that appointment, so let's go ahead and revisit that training with you or see what we can do to help you.
We definitely have those tools with KW that we didn't have before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I was actually talking to Travis. I was like, hey, dude, I got that all built out. It has your onboarding stuff. Let me know what you have questions, and obviously read through our 76, SOGs that Dane wrote. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm starting to get through the ones you put on, but I'm working on the launch program that KW sent me. I'm like, what? I'm like, they sent that to you? I'm like, dude, send me that in an email, because I'm going to put that on there too. That's huge. That's what I wanted him to go through anyway. So, here's the side note to KW and how phenomenal they are. I learned more from that Keller Williams book than I have the entire time I've been licensed for like systems and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, hats off to them. They're the best for the reason, and we couldn't be happier. I mean, we would not be where we'd be without, because as much chance as we took on them, going with them, because we were kind of weren't satisfied at the other place we were at. They took as big as risk on us. We're like, okay, we see the vision, we see this growing, and we want you guys here. So
they impressed me from the start with when we were interviewing different brokerages to see who we were going to join, and just the fact that so many of them came down for the initial interview.
Yeah, that was huge. They're the only ones that did it.
They stood out.
Yeah,
they stood out, and they've backed it up. Everything they said they were going to do.
They've undersold it. I told Kate that before. I was like, you have like everything you guys said in that room, you guys really undersold, and you guys have over delivered on everything. And it's been even when we were onboarding, I was like trying to move our license over, and then they called like, oh yeah, we'll do that for you, blah blah blah. This just came back because they, for something with the Columbus, they they needed something. I was like, well, I'll take care of it. And they're like, oh, no, we'll do it for you. And I called and I handled it because I was so used to doing it. And they called me back 20 minutes. They were like, we said we were going to call and do it. Just let us do it. So like, I'm like, all right. And that's been like the best thing ever. Like I haven't had to lift a finger really for our recent agents because they have it down to a system. Why reinvent the wheel? Like we have a certain flow chart for the onboarding that the agents go through. They have to shadow so many different appointments and stuff. For listings and inspections, like it's everything. And then I just put on there like what needs to be done and the data was completed just so we can all track everything. But that way they're just hitting the ground running. And obviously with the requirement of 2 KW trainings a month that we have on there, and then the link for the KW calendar is live on that on our team dashboard. So they just pick any two. They're all pretty much Zoom anyways. It's just going to benefit them. Yeah. So it's getting them that way they're current on everything, because I tell you, man, not knowing how to do something and being taught it by the agent on the other side of the deal is not how you want to learn. There are some people that will be willing to do it, but man, you just want to be at the top of your game because there's so many different ways to do this.
Right. Well, and that's what we have now with Keller Williams that we didn't have before, because when I had deals trying to close, there were times I was being taught by other agents. Your hands were full with everything you were trying to do, So I'm happy here. Like I couldn't be happier. So.
Yeah, our workload, it's like we've been able to, because that was one of the pillars we were focused on was training and stuff. But since they, pretty much they handle that for us, we're able to, we focus on the accountability part, but we've been able to take our social media, which was already awesome before, to a level I never thought we'd be where we're at.
Right.
Which, thanks to Dane and stuff, he does a lot of the editing and everything. He's very modest as well.
Just trying to help out.
But there was something else I want to talk to you about too, and the Jason Patton stuff. I haven't got the analytics on that yet, but I know it's working because that's where those Columbus agents saw our stuff on. But I think that's going to be fun to be on that TV show in May.
I don't know about fun.
Well, as long as you get so here's the cool thing about that. I didn't realize that. I guess I didn't even pay attention to it, but it's you compete for cash prizes. What I wanted to do with that is rather than, compete for that, why don't we compete for whatever we win, make that a donation to the bridge program?
That'd be awesome.
I think that would be, more beneficial for everybody.
Right.
And I was going to run that by them when I talk to them next time I talk to them and stuff. But I would like to use the Jason Patton stuff, I'm going to get a bunch of photos when we're there too, of us with Jason. But then also when we figure out from Caleb, like he got the wrong information, obviously, for fire on the river. Right. He told us it was the 20th, and when we did a fact check, it was the 6th. And a lot of us are on shift, but I'd like to have our photos with Jason on there as well.
That'd
I'd like to,
cool. Yeah. I'm more than willing to be a contestant. I'll take 2 shocks if I don't have to do a shot. So
as long as it's not spicy or anything hot, I'll be fine. Like
apparently, you haven't seen the stuff they're making you shoot.
I've watched every episode.
Gosh, man.
I was like, well, that would have sucked. And then I was like, well, I wouldn't know that answer, so I would have chugged that one. So I know I'm going to consume a lot of random stuff, but I'm excited for that. And it's like stuff like that that's really fun that our team does, like unique opportunities like that. It's just like we just jump on it, and I didn't have that anywhere else and everything. So we're the only real estate team that's actually associated with him. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And for those that don't know who he is, if you're a first responder, you know who he is.
Yeah, you know exactly who he is.
If you're a paramedic.
Fire department,
you know who he is.
Coffee and fire department Cron. He actually follows our stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that was a fun one to do. And I like all these different, obviously we're letting things cook for a little bit before we try some other marketing, but we're not stepping backwards anymore. We're actually like, okay, this is working. Let's add something else to the toolbox. And that's been a lot of fun. I still want the fire truck. I know Dane keeps saying, we don't need a fire truck yet, but I really think that would be fun.
Put it in parades.
Dude, Grayson would be so happy. Whether
brought those little plastic fire hats and stuff. Yeah. Any kids would love it, man.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome to have that wrapped and just use it for that. So that's a goal for next year for sure. It's not a high goal, but it definitely is. Like, I would love to have a physical location with our logo out front next year, and then eventually have my fire truck that Dan keeps shooting down.
Well, if you think about how long we've actually been at it with this brand, it hasn't been long, and look at where we've already come to.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think it's too far off of a goal by next year to have something like that.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was talking to KW and I don't know, maybe it was Cheyenne, I don't remember. I talked to him too much. But this is just kind of like, now that we have where we should have been, where we joined, what was that, July we joined?
I don't recall.
And already it's a 9-day difference. Like now that we have all our systems in place, and I don't see anywhere that we need improvement on. We have it all our issues we were having is fixed.
Right.
Just by going through, listening, and that was the one thing, like I just, like, hey, here's my open book. This is what we're doing. This is where we're struggling at. What do you guys think? Just having that brutal honesty from Scott on what, like, hey, you guys need to do this, or this is where you're lacking. And the cool thing is about all the teams up there at KW, the Greater Metro, I mean, they're all the big fish, like, that I've been following forever when I got my license. They're all there. They're all willing to share their secrets. Like, oh yeah, try this, do this, do this.
They want you to be successful.
Yeah, and we're the same way with our social media. They always ask me about social media every time I go up there. Right. I'm like, oh yeah, we do this. This is how we edit it. This is how we disperse stuff. And
well, you've been doing that for a while though. Even when you're on your own, you're really good with the social media stuff. So
well, now that we have like AI, oh my gosh, that's made my life so much easier.
I hate AI.
Why?
You never know if it's real or not.
It is. Well, I can tell you most of our images are not real, but they look real, so that means it's working.
There's just so many things on social media. AI is just capable of doing so much. It's scary.
Well, I think if people knew the correct prompts to use, and you bought that book too, didn't you? The AI. There's and I'll show you it also, Tim. But there's a book that I bought off of Amazon. I think it was like what, $11?
Yeah, it was cheap.
It was cheap. It has like 300 or 400 prompts specifically for real estate.
Really?
So our listing descriptions now, I honestly just put in 4 or 5 different photos from what the photographer takes and use this prompt, and it'll actually write the entire listing description based off of those photos and that address. It's perfect.
That's impressive.
Saves me so much time.
That is a time saver.
And then I don't know if you remember that ROC that I wrote that I showed you, but it was super detailed and it had everything just broken down perfectly. Yeah. That was AI.
I believe it.
That was a prompt.
But you're not that smart, so.
Yeah, I'm not. I would have missed a couple of those, but AI fixed it. It had a level of importance and necessity, and it had a code, like the code with it and everything, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
But I'll send you that. Because honestly, you can't even read it. It's just like, it's full of prompts, so it's nice to have it by your desk. And then be like, okay, I wonder if there's a prompt for it, because chances are there is.
That's good, because I can't read. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why like that book I brought you in has really big.
I hope so, man.
Fonts.
I'll never get through it. I'll just have my wife read it to me at night.
Well, that other one I was reading that with the $1 Million Real Estate Team, that Dane's reading it too. That was a brutal read, and I told Dane, I was like, just read this chapter. I made it through it, but I'm glad I did, because that's where our team dashboard came from. It took me like almost 2 months to build that, but that's going to be huge for us from here on out, because I don't know how many times somebody will ask for a random analytic that I never really tracked before, and then we track everything. It's like, oh yeah, I can get you that. What do you want? A week, month, year?
Right.
So, but I like our whole theme, and I like how everybody's has just bought into it 100%, and I'm excited to see where it comes next, because I mean, especially if we have everybody that we sent like 70 people through, so if we have all those people join all over Ohio, it's going to be huge for us.
Oh, it's also been national. Talks of national. If we can
I want to do national too, and that's a little bit trickier, just trying to figure that, but I mean, geez, that's going to be, I think that's inevitable for us.
Right.
Anyways.
The way it's blowing up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you not expand?
It's just trying to find different market centers in different states that are willing to, play ball and honor our commitment to the first responders. Because that was the one thing that would set me off when I would talk to some of these centers, and we'd have other first responders from other states, and they're ready to join, and all of a sudden they do a bait and switch, but like, no, they're going to be at this place. It's like, well, that's not what we talked about.
Right.
So, but that's definitely a goal because Florida is where we have the most interest right now, is actually in Florida from other first responders. So I think that would be a goal maybe next year to actually get that up and going, because ideally what we want everything, even though they're in a different state, have everything funnel through our main hub of us up here, so we can give them all the resources and the social media stuff and all that, just so that way there's no dip in I guess service for
streamline. It's less confusion, you know.
So trying to figure that, and like obviously KW has been phenomenal. Like Mike there at KW, he's like, that was his idea, is like, and he wants to help us do that. So and I know we'll be able to do that just with their guidance. So
yeah,
I do think national will be in other states eventually. I'm excited for that, but right now I just want to make sure Ohio is like, we're not taking any steps backwards, we're just doing like leaps forward and stuff. So because that I do not ever want to have another like learning year again.
You don't want to rebrand again?
I don't ever want to rebrand again, because that was like that was the one thing I said. I was like, everybody I talked to, I was like, I'm not paying for signs.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for anything. Like, this is what I have invested in it, and this is like.
Well, I still have stuff in my garage that spent all that money on that was never used. You know.
Oh, I know. We have the Epic stuff, the real stuff, and everything, and then when we had to rebrand again for real, I was like, oh, I was so mad about that.
Well, KW helped you with that. So
yeah, they did. That was cool. But that was one thing that everybody said. Like all the ones we met with, I was like, oh yeah, well, no, don't worry about that. I'm like, do you realize how much stuff we have that's branded?
Right.
Like, it's already gonna suck to redo all the guides and everything and all our social media stuff, but yeah, luckily no, yeah, I don't ever want to live that again. I don't ever foresee a reason, like just like, I guess I never really knew the brick and mortar atmosphere, because I've only known cloud-based. So being in that that growing environment with all those people that are just I think you miss that face-to-face conversation when you're at a cloud-based. I mean, I know cloud-based has their benefits as well.
Yeah.
But if for me, for our structure and our team, it just, there's no other better place to be than where we're at now.
Right. So. Yeah.
Was there I guess from your perspective and stuff, you're in Dane and stuff, just because you guys have just 100% just trusted everything that we've done. Is there anything you think I should have done sooner or should have done differently? Or
yeah, we should have gone to this brand right off the jump, I think.
Yeah, I was so hesitant because I thought it was cheesy. I was like, I
get that.
And Julie kept saying, just do it. I'm like, no. And now I have to tell her, I was like, honey, you were right.
I get that. Sometimes we have to listen to our wife, Jared. I know we don't like to. I think we should have went to this from the jump. And the reason I say that is because it's authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It's who we are.
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's an easy shoe in, pretty much. I don't think there's anything you could have done differently other than that. Guys stay with you because they trust you.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why so many of us, when we made the jumps to different brokerages, you've never led us astray yet. So I don't know. Don't change what's not broken. Don't fix what's not.
I made that pretty clear when we were talking to the other teams or the other brokerages. Like, listen, I'm not going to pick a dollar sign over any of them. So, and I'm going to tell
value friendship. That's why.
And I'm going to tell all of them everything. There is no secrents and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're the
transparent.
That's one thing they always say. Like, we're the only team that's 100% transparent like that. Like,
you got to be.
Mm-hmm.
You get caught in something along those lines, and then you guys don't trust you anymore.
Well, and the nice, I don't know why more people don't do is because, listen, I don't have to take all the calls. Like, if you have a question, you can call anybody, and they'll be able to. It's going to be the right answer.
Right.
And if you need a decision, it's going to take all of us anyways. Anyways, it's like, I think I can't even talk about that. Dane met with some people, and they were confused about our structure, and because, and he's like, well, this is how we do it, blah blah blah, and then we vote on everything. Like, oh, okay, that was, that's different, but
yeah, but it works.
It does.
So
it does, especially because I don't know. It's never been in me to. I don't like being the center of anything. From day one, I was like, I'm not making a team after my name. I don't like that. I see some of these teams get awards with and they're like, the team owners all like, look what, but you couldn't be there without your team members.
Right.
And You know, I just, and the other thing that I see some teams do is they don't let team members get volume credit, which is crazy.
Right.
If somebody out there can explain to me why they don't let them do that, I can't see the benefit of that. It doesn't make sense, other than you're trying to lock a team member into like to show that they never have any volume so they can't leave. But like for our team, we all get volume credit, and in Columbus, my name's not even on anything. So, and the same thing with Cincinnati and all that stuff. Like, cool, Travis, you're gonna get volume credit for everything. You're gonna be team lead down there. It's like it's not like I don't understand. Like I don't care about that stuff. Who cares about it? Like, it's all about growing together and stuff, and everybody being successful and trying to change all of our living situations. I mean, look at you're where you were before, and now where you guys have a freaking hotel.
Well, we have to with all the kids we have.
Yeah, but I was the same way. Back in 2018, I lived in a split level duplex, and then look, where we are now, and. Dane has been writing on a lot of houses, has got nothing accepted. I don't know. We're looking into that. But
that's because it's my money.
Yeah.
Here comes another SOG.
Yeah, here comes another SOG. But it's just, it's nice to where, like, we're not relying on working all these different fire jobs. And like you said, first responders are paycheck to paycheck. And I don't ever want to go back to that stress again, and I don't want that stress for my friends. So we're in a position to where we can relieve, them of that stress. So, like, just trust us. We'll get you there. I just need you to just, I know the classes are kind of dry, but just make that investment in yourself. You don't have to invest any money up front. Just, sit there, go through the courses, pass the class, and we'll get you to where we're at.
All right.
So,
no.
Well, I think Dane just pointed at his watch, so I guess we're over.
Jabberjaws, quit talking.
Yeah, so I guess we'll end it there, man. But like I said, I'm glad that you were finally able to come on here and stuff, because we referenced you as like you're like a secret character in the podcast world. We've talked about you a couple different times.
Yeah, I saw the blimp image you put up.
Yeah, float. And everybody's like, "Who's this guy that sells things in 2 hours?" I was like, "Well, this is him." So it doesn't matter where it's at, what it looks like.
There is no secret to it. It's pretty much just listed competitively. People want to put if your home's valued at $340, they want it listed at $340, $350. You taught me very early into this that if you list it competitively, the more showings you get, the more viewings you get, you're going to get multiple offers, and you're going to get that price point versus, you might count somebody out that's at, if they put it at $340, that guy that only wanted $315 originally isn't even going to come look at it. What's funny is I know people at home don't realize this, but Tim and his wife used to be one of my top clients. We did. I think they put my kids through college. Yeah, we did. A majority of our team actually used to be past clients of mine in some way or another. It's kind of funny, like, Brittany that's going through there, her and Dakota bought a house. I mean, there's several of them now. It's like Stevenson. I just talked to him today. He's going through classes and everything. But Bostic, there are quite a few. Yeah, except Hagen. Hagen used somebody else.
Yeah, and that's why we're not letting him join the team yet until he actually apologizes to me.
Face-to-face apology.
Yeah. He finished all his classes. How do I test? Well, I don't know. How do you say you're sorry?
The promo code didn't work.
That's where he's like, the fee keeps going up.
Paid it 3 times.
And it's going to some Venmo account.
3 times.
Yeah, just keep paying.
He's got it.
No, I have no complaints for it. Like, this is like, when we first thought about this, I didn't even dream we'd be where we're at now. And it's like, I'm so happy to see that it's just like, and we just have so much momentum with everything. Right. I'm excited to see where we are next year. I mean, honestly, I've already exceeded all our goals with everything that we had for the team, because I could care less really about the unit count, and that's all secondary to the main reason of, like, just get people time back with their families and their mental health back. So, it's awesome that we're crushing our numbers that we did, last year and the year before. But it's more important to me to see, like, that team member is like, man, I was able to quit those other part-time jobs, and I'm so happy doing this. Because,
Right.
I mean, Dane's your first commission check, man, wasn't that like kind of a shock when you actually, I told you,
You told me the same thing.
yeah, I was like, you're going to go through the 7, stages of grief and everything. Just, I was
What
like,
have I been doing with my life?
yeah, I was like, okay. He was right. Like, this is more than my, 3 or 4 months at the fire department.
Right.
And, I wish I would have done it sooner, but now that's just the norm. Now my wife, actually my mom gets so mad at me when she's like, how much did you make off that sale? I was like, oh, it was only this much. And she's just paused. She's like, do you hear yourself?
Yeah.
I was like, what? And she's like, but it's just, I'm thankful, that we're like this now, because I don't ever want to have to worry about. I mean, there was, where Dane hit the watch and stuff, and honestly, and I know a lot of fire departments or firefighters can relate to this. There's some times where, like, in my life especially, I had to choose between gas money to get to work or I can get lunch when I'm at work,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a majority, of
It's a reality.
Yeah, especially first responders that are just getting into this field too,
Yeah.
and it sucks, but. Luckily, that's why anybody who's a first responder, I don't care who you are or where you're at, we'll help you.
Yeah.
Even if you're out of state and you want to get your license, I haven't figured out the team national thing yet, but we'll get your license, be a solo agent, and then we can figure out the team aspect later on if you want to join our team and stuff, just to get you guys time back with your family.
Yep.
Well, I think I'll wrap it up now because Dan keeps looking at his phone and his watch and stuff. But thanks for coming on here, man, and
Thanks
talking
for
with us.
having me.
I wasn't going to do an episode today, but you guys talked me into it. And thanks, everybody, for watching. And I hope you guys have a quiet shift.
A quiet shift.
Yeah.
The Q word.